Hello and welcome to the April DWM Newscast. I'm Tara Taffera.
And I'm Holly Biller.
We have a great deal of information to bring you today. From Fenestration Day's educational sessions for manufacturers and dealers here in the U.S. to coverage of an international machinery event showcasing the latest in door and window machinery, you'll want to stay tuned.
That U.S. event was our very own Fenestration Day, held last week in San Antonio. This is DWM Magazine's third year hosting the event, which offered sessions for both manufacturers and dealers. 2 separate tracks were held so both groups could receive information tailored to their specific needs. The one-day event included a number of joint sessions and was full of educational information. David Crow, chief economist for the NAHB, kicked off the program with some good news for housing and offered some economic updates as well. First, let's take a look at his economic forecast.
The first quarter we just completed won't be quite as robust as the last quarter. The number of individual unique things the last quarter caused it to be a little better than average, but it's still going to be in the 2.2, 2.3% range and continue to increase. So we're going to continue to see some positive but slow increases in the economy as we go through this year, and then a little more robust as we get into 13. So 12 is still going to be the stage setter. It's still going to be the year of getting our act together, of getting these individual marketplaces, many of them rather small, fully recovering, and then start that recovery spread to other places.
Many look to Crow for his projections on new home sales, and he did say we are headed toward a recovery, and also talked about the bright spot in housing, the remodeling market.
Home sales last year for new home sales, which is the darker of these two lines, was the worst year since we've recorded home sales almost 60 years ago. So it wasn't a very good year. In some sense, that gives us some promise that this year's almost got to be better, given how bad last year was. But along with these individual marketplaces recovering, low mortgage rates, low house prices, improving employment picture will bring people back slowly, but beginning to bring people back into the marketplace and start that recovery. And then finally, what has been kind of a bright spot in housing has been remodeling. As you well know, one of the reasons behind that has been the energy credits for energy conservation additions like windows and doors and insulation. And so that's helped buoy the remodeling expenditures. We've also had a phenomena of people deciding not to move. So instead of the hassle of trying to sell, trying to buy, the uncertainty behind the whole marketplace, households have said, you know, what I really just want in moving is another bedroom or a better kitchen or a remodeled basement, or whatever the characteristics they were looking for, they can accomplish by doing it in their own home. And so we've had a reasonable surge in remodeling expenditures because of that phenomena. In fact, right now, the dollar amounts of money spent on remodeling in owner-occupied homes is larger than the dollar amount of new construction.
Arlene Stewart of AZS Consulting talked about the close watch the FTC is keeping on green claims made by door and window companies in their marketing materials.
Here's where the action of the last 8 weeks really comes to play. Any comparative claim should be sufficiently clear to avoid consumer deception and should not overstate the benefit either expressly or by implication. And this is the place that advertisers, the advertising companies that you work with, the people that you have in-house continually fall down. It's by implication. It's what you don't say. So if there's anything that I leave you with today, it is 2 basic tenets to comply with FTC regulations, and that is substantiation and specificity. Be able to substantiate anything you make, and whatever claim you make, it has to be specific. If you make a broad claim, you had better have broad proof.
In that same session, Tracy Rogers, chair of AMA's Green Task Group, discussed the association's green certification program scheduled to launch this year.
We had a group sitting at AMA and had some concerns about these various different other organizations in the world that were telling everybody what was green. LEED and ASHRAE and Green Globes and a number of others that Arlene had in her presentation. primarily going out there and saying, all right, here's our green program, and here's what our sustainable program is going to be, and here's all the requirements for it. And eventually you're going to have 5 different programs out there or more, each saying what a green window is. And you can guarantee none of them would agree with each other. So AMA looked at it and said, let's see if we can nip this one in the bud, and let's create a program, and we'll tell we're the window people, we'll tell the world what green is supposed to be when it comes to fenestration.
And DWM columnist Michael Collins of Jordan Knopf & Company gave an update on various market statistics, namely the amount of door and window acquisitions and closures that have occurred in recent years. Collins was at Fenestration Day to provide the latest updates and give his projections for the future of the 2012 market.
Now, as the market has fallen off, the private equity activity has definitely fallen off as well, and part of that is driven by the fact that they haven't been able to get debt to lend into building products transactions. Now that's starting to change, and I get inquiries, you know, a few a month from banks that are saying, hey, we're looking for deals, and they know when they reach out to me that all I do is building products, so they know that's what they'd be seeing as building products deal flow, and they're specifically targeting me because they're ready to lend into building products deals, because this industry has been so far down and is ready to come back that, you know, they're sort of picking a long-term cycle. They don't need to be right a year from now, but they need to be right 4 years from now, and the confidence level that they're going to be right 4 years from now is increasing versus where it's been in the past.
For all the news from Fenestration Day and coverage of all the sessions, check out our website and look for future webinars on many of these presentations to be posted on dwmmag.com.
Now from the U.S. to Germany, Megan Headley, DWM Magazine contributing editor, traveled abroad in late March for the biennial Fensterbau trade show. This is the premier event for the international door and window industry, and the latest and greatest machines are always on display. You can see our full coverage of that event on our website. And Megan wasn't there just for Fensterbau. She traveled to 5 door and window plants throughout Germany, and her expansive story will be included in the May issue of DWM. If you want to know the differences among U.S. and European door and window manufacturing companies, you don't want to miss this article. Go to our website to see her guest blog and stay tuned for slideshows from her trip.
That concludes our newscast for today. Be sure to stay tuned to dwmmag.com for the latest news.
For more from both of these events, as well as all the latest news, visit our website.